talking into the thing. This episode of Blue and Gray is brought to you by Wholesale Frustration. Brought to you in massive quantities by Yejoon, who forgot to hit record. And we didn't realize it until we were pretty much done recording an entire podcast. Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. It's like when you make a very long, detailed post on the internet and you hit post, but for some reason it breaks, like you lose connection. And then like you still feel compelled to retype it out, but it's not like the initial one that you posted.
Well, but there needs to be someone else involved with that post. Like you dictated a post to somebody and then it failed and then both of you had to do it all over again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool.
Yeah, we're fine.
Shameful plugs.
Yeah, shameful plugs.
So this is like last episode was kind of a Sean episode, and this is kind of a Yejoon episode. What do I have going on? I have multiple projects. There's of course this one, and then
Which is Blue and Gray.
I'm having trouble like hiding the bitterness in my voice.
Well, we normally don't rehearse, and now we basically did a rehearsal. So
yeah, it's a rehearsal. And I have multiple projects going on now. One other thing that I do another podcast is kind of an anti-podcast where I set like 3 of my friends down whom I met in during campaigns, and we got to be close friends. They're all funny people, and I record them for an hour and I whittle it down to about 3 minutes ish. Just I hear them riff and then I pick the funniest part of it. And that's the episode.
Yeah, it really confused me when I first saw it because I thought I was only seeing like a preview of a podcast, because not only was it only 4 minutes long, the description had nothing to do with the podcast at all.
Yeah, that was Jamie's idea. He thought it would be funny to write like sitcom episode descriptions that had nothing to do with the podcast, and I like it.
Yeah, it's gonna confuse a lot of people, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So it's called Del Fail Sons. Check it out. It's funny. Next, I've been working with there's 2 more campaign people that I've met and become good friends with. The project is called Thieves Way. It's kind of too early to like really be plugging and promoting it because we're still like we've got like a few songs. We're still trying to write a couple more and get them into a good shape so we can put out like an EP. But it is coming along and I'm enjoying it. And last but not least, Dirt Bagel Fist. So like this is like currently it's, if you have a pet project as Stephen Gray, where it's like very close to you and dear to you, that's what Dirt Bagel Fist is for me. It's a collection of leftist songs. I feel like our country's perspective is very skewed politically. So like what's left here is kind of like centrist in other countries. So I'd like to, shift that a little bit further to the left if I can, however I can.
Hashtag normalize.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. I can't believe we did this. Like we did this, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
you can do
worse.
It,
having rehearsed.
Well, it's like we also recorded 2 podcasts back to back, so it's like, wait, what did I say this on the one that we forgot to record, or did I say this on the one we actually did record? I don't know.
So Dirt Bagel Fist, recently I put out a track called The Woods. I guess we'll just go from there.
Yeah, well, it's funny when I first listened to it, I was like, man, those are some tasty bass licks. Like, here, I guess we'll just play it and you can listen to it.
should I? Do you reckon they could? So he took a drag and he lined up a sight and he fired his air rifle till the cardinal tumbled in. Johnny felt sick inside. Nature never looked the same. The woods never looked the same. And dinner never looked the same. 'Cause their lives were given over to the corporate man, wearing white collars, making payment plans. Yeah, the woods were bulldozed for development plans.
And those tasty bass licks were actually me. I forgot that I played. I forgot that I played on it. Like I remembered the song, but I didn't remember actually recording bass.
Yeah. It's actually a true story from when I was in middle school with my one of my best friends from middle school. We went out into the woods and he shot a bird. It was sad.
I feel like a lot of people have had that same experience of like killing something for the first time when they're younger, and it sort of is like I remember Jeremy talking about when he found a BB gun in the woods when we were kids, and he got BBs for it, and he went out and he shot a bird, and he immediately felt really terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of a fucked up feeling to kill a wild animal.
Yeah. That I guess that's sort of like when you find out if you're a sociopath or not. It's like, do you feel bad about what you did? Then you're going to be okay.
I think if you're going to be a meat eater, that you should have to be capable of killing an animal.
Yeah, I had a friend who said the same thing. He said that if you're going to be a meat eater, then you should at the very least catch fish and what is it called, fillet them,
Yeah,
and everything. At the very least you should do that, because you need to experience what happens to an animal when you need to eat it.
you're confronted with what you're actually eating. And I actually think like hunters do take that seriously, that aspect. I mean, a lot of people are turned off by hunting, and like, oh, how can you kill an animal? But like at the same time, they'll be eating meat because we've been like so detached from the experience of like what eating meat is.
Yeah, there was this weird experience I had up in New York where one of my sister's boyfriend's co-workers, I know that's a lot of times removed from me, hit a deer on the way to work, and he brought it there, and one of the guys knew how to like quarter dress, I don't know what they call it, dress a carcass. So he did it, and my sister's boyfriend took the heart and brought it home. And like I remember I walked in to the kitchen, and there was this bloody bag in the sink, and I look in, and the heart, it looks like a human heart. I will post the picture of it, because I was like, that looks like a human heart. And Bob's like, yeah, we're gonna cook it up. And my sister was like, no, I don't want to eat it. I don't want to eat it. Like it just bothered her that it was like.
Would she eat a heart normally?
No.
Like, oh, okay.
But it was just kind of weird because, he was going to fry it up, and I was like, well, why don't you just eat it? I mean, it's fried up. And also it's sort of like, I know, isn't that okay even from like a vegan, a moralistic vegan standpoint? Like if you accidentally kill an animal, are you allowed to eat it? Because I know
I think it's so I think I'm a vegetarian, and I think you're obligated to eat it. Like there's some sort of obligation to, like, it died.
Yeah.
It should. And like I've ordered Instacart before, and I went for a long period without eating meat, and they sometimes make mistakes, and I got delivered a pound of bologna, like the only meat that I had for the longest time, or I hadn't eaten meat in the longest time, like cheeseburgers or steaks or like fried chicken. The
was
good
bologna.
stuff.
You got bologna.
I got bologna, and I felt obligated to eat it.
You know what bologna is? It's someone who took an entire pack of hot dogs, chewed them up, spit them back out, and smushed them into little round plates. And bologna's disgusting.
Yeah, it really, there's like a disturbing sweetness to it that I can't get past.
That's the spit Ugh. But I ate the heart, by the way. I did.
Yeah.
I had some of it. It was good. I actually, it's funny. I had a conversation with Brian once, and he said that the only truly vegan meat is human flesh because they can consent to it. And I don't know. Do you remember that story of that guy who put out an ad for to someone willing to be eaten?
No.
He did it.
He ate someone?
Yeah, and
Wait, how does that work? Like, did they just sacrifice their calf?
No,
What's the-
their life. They so what started? They started out by cutting. They both were like, well, why don't we start with my penis? So they cut his penis off, and he fried it up, but he overcooked it, so they didn't really like that. And then
So they both?
they both ate the penis.
The guy whose penis got cut off.
Ate his own part.
Holy shit.
But it wasn't very good. So then he put him in the ice bath and slowly killed him, and then ate him. And he went to jail, and he is a vegetarian now. No joke. And there was a lot of discussion about whether was it murder, like the guy offered himself up, and
It was consensual.
it was consensual. Yeah. Really crazy. Yeah. Cannibalism.
I don't know where to go from there.
Cannibalism is vegan friendly in some
I think
circumstances, I guess.
I would consider it. I think you're still a vegan if you consensually eat. Like if a person says, "When I die, you can eat me," I think that you're good.
There's a part in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or maybe it's the restaurant at the end of the universe. I can't remember. It was one of those Hitchhiker books. And there's like cows that are sentient and they want to be eaten. And they the waiter will bring out the cow, and the cow will be like, "I think you'll love my rump roast. I would love you to eat it." And so that would be a vegan meal.
Yeah. This episode is very different from the last one.
Yeah, that was a weird tangent. I don't know. Let's. Oh, you know what you need to talk about?
What?
The coup you organized.
Oh yeah, okay. I could talk about that. So I organized a coup of a local small branch of the Democratic Party. It's called an RD committee. Our state's Democratic Party is divided up into districts according to, state representative districts, and each district gets a committee. So if you get a bunch of people in your district to join the committee, and form a majority, then you pretty much own the committee. You can decide on the officers and then delegates to send to the state convention. And then from there, those delegates can influence the party direction. So like the leadership, the paid staff, and the state party platform. So that's what I did. I asked a bunch of people, and for some reason, it surprised me that people were willing to go along with it, considering that I didn't really know them. Like I might have kind of known some of them, but like I was just asking people, and I'm like, "Will you do this? And then will you vote this way?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure."
Did you phrase it as a coup?
Not so much.
You didn't say the word coup?
I did not use the word coup.
Because if somebody called me and was like, "Look, we are organizing a coup," I'd be like, "I'm in." I wouldn't even wait for what it was. I'd be like, is it Democrat? All right, no, I'm in.
Yeah. No, I just phrased, like most of the language I used was just, we're trying to, grow the progressive voice, which is what, I was doing. Get more progressive influence in the state party. So would you help me do this? And the Nevada, people in Nevada actually did this recently, where they had enough of them all over the state to, forming coups of their own, and they took over the entire state party. So all the more, moderate conservative Democrats of the state, they all quit the Democratic Party, and now it's completely run by the Democratic Socialists, all the Bernie people. So that's kind of cool. I wish we could have done that for Delaware, but we didn't have enough time. We had you would have needed months in advance to plan for something like that, if not a year. And we just didn't have that since we were just coming off of elections into a holiday and then this. But
you succeeded.
Yeah.
In a small slice of the world has been changed.
I think that's as much as I can reasonably expect of myself. So,
but it did inspire you to be able to possibly do the stage your coups within your life. You know what I mean? Like if you could organize something like that, with it not being something completely personal to you, you were doing it for other people.
Yeah.
Why not do it for things that matter in your own personal life?
Yeah. And I think that's part of what I'm kind of doing now. Like I've realized, over the past year, maybe year and a half, 2 years, I've come to be dead inside. Like I can just talk to anyone about anything and not care about, I've done it so much at this point, just talking about bullshit.
Phone
with people.
banking.
Yeah, phone banking and canvassing, where a lot of people would get anxiety about it. I'm like, okay, it kind of sucks. It's not like a great experience all the time. Sometimes it's cool. You form a nice connection, but a lot of times it's just bullshit. And I feel like that's a new skill or superpower to be able to do that.
Yeah, we were talking about this, and you had put it in the perspective of how much do you want something, right? Like I was talking, when I talk about it in doing the equivalent of phone banking for promoting your band or promoting a project that you're doing, to me it feels really disingenuous, and I don't like doing it. I don't but when you put it in the perspective of well, how much do you want it? Do you want your project to be successful or to get or whatever it is? Do you want that more than you care about maybe pissing off a few people and coming across as a little slimy?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is yes, then do it. And that makes sense. Why? If you don't want it, then maybe it's not a project you should be working on.
Yeah. And this is actually something that I got from another podcast. So El Chapo Trap House, or Chapo Trap House, is one that I listened to back in the Bernie days. We were, so hopeful. And he was going on about you might feel exhausted, emotionally exhausted and kind of burnt out. But what this movement needs is for you to go out and canvass and phone bank. And if you're feeling any kind of way about it, just you got to ask yourself, these kinds of changes that you want to see in the country, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want to see Medicare for all, or a living wage, legal marijuana, all that kind of thing, all those kinds of things. And anytime that I was really feeling burnt out on phone banking or any sort of campaign work, that it kind of, I'm like, well, how badly do you want this? And then, I'd push through. So that, and like now I'm thinking about with music, with Dirt Bagel Fist, it's kind of twofold. It's not just like how badly do I want the music, some level of success in music for people to hear it. But like I want to leverage the social status and the the social capital that comes with it, to manipulate people into doing what I want them to.
It sounds terrible when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But then you mentioned that if someone famous that you liked called you then and asked you to do something, right?
Yeah.
You would do it.
Right. Like Tom Petty. I'm gonna do my Tom Petty impersonation now. Hey Sean, I'm glad you like my music, but right now we're trying to get Jessica Skurain elected.
Is this
to
a
the
recording? Is this a recording?
No. This is actually Tom Petty.
Oh my God, it's Tom Petty.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're trying to get her elected, but we're going to need your help. So I'm organizing a Zoom call, a phone bank session, and maybe I'll play a few tunes afterwards. After we're done with our work, we can relax a bit and have a little fun. What do you say?
Sure, Tom.
Right? Like, I totally would have, even if I was somebody who was not politically minded. Like,
Are you still Tom Petty right now?
no.
Okay, you're not Tom Petty.
But
That was acting, guys, by the way.
yeah. Really. Like, I mean, not that I am of Tom Petty's level, but like once you start getting some sort of success, like there is some aura. I don't know,
Yeah.
like some sort of influence that goes on there. And people leverage even just basic levels of influence to manipulate people in very bad ways.
Yeah.
Like that's not something I want to get into, but like you could do it for good.
For good. Yeah. Do it for good. Guys, what you're learning from this is you need to stage small coups throughout your life for good. You need to manipulate the people that you get from these coups for good.
Yeah. I mean, what's the alternative, really? We'll just gradually slide rightwards into fascism.
Yeah.
So, like, that's all we could do.
Yeah. Remember, if the internet is a machine, this machine should kill fascists.
I think that's a good note to end the episode on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.